Hello guys, Inslayerclone here, friendly neighborhood cell. Got a censor everything, of course. Not, I'm not that well today compared to other days and stuff, other recordings and stuff like that. I have a backlog, of recordings I need to upload, but YouTube gave me another strike. I think it was just a mistake. I don't know, the AI, whatever. Because I was talking about, kind of like adolescence and government and all that. Gave me a strike, but it got removed and stuff. So I decided, I still have one more strike, and it's going to be in April 11th. So I'll start re-uploading the videos, I guess, once the strike comes to near, I guess. So hopefully I get that done and stuff. And yeah, today I want to talk about time. I think I've done a video back in 2024 actually about time, but I can do another theoretically I can do another video about time because I feel this is very important, what I'm going to say. So everyone has 24 hours in a day. So a newborn baby, freaking an elderly person that's on their probably bed and something, waiting to die or whatever. Every single person has 24 hours and stuff in a day. 24 hours may seem short, because it's just 24 hours, but it's a pretty long time if you think about it. I know this is going to be very crude or whatever, but what's the lady's name, the famous adult entertainer, Lily Phillips and stuff. I've been talking to her mentioning about her about quite a lot on my channel actually. I don't know why, but Lily Phillips did 100 meals in like what, 10 hours, I think, 24 hours, under 24 hours roughly. Started like in like 8 o'clock or something a.m. Then they finished in like in the evening, whatever, around 9, 10 o'clock, whatever. I know that's like, that's a very crude way of thinking about stuff, from like an adult entertainment's perspective, but you look at it from a logical perspective, there was no time wasted in those 24 hours, in those 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever. You can say what she was doing was terrible and stuff, but she didn't waste time. And that's why I feel like a lot of people, especially people in my spectre of the internet, the black pill spectre, because they're not really getting like what they want from society, not getting women's and something, or getting a family, whatever, or whatever it is, or a certain age or whatever, it's kind of pointless for me to do all this stuff, clone. Why am I spending time reading a book or like, learning how to code, or learning how to, I don't know, sew things, or I don't know, educate yourself in some form, because at the end of the day and stuff, I don't know about you guys, I don't know what countries you live in. Some of you guys probably live in third world countries, some of you guys live in second world countries, but I think most of my audience members are in the first world. Yes, the first world is going to hell, but we know it's going to hell, so why am I wasting my time trying to preserve? Because what I'm trying to say, why am I wasting my time? I know things are going to get bad in this country, so why am I wasting time? There's no time to waste. I'm not a college student, I'm not a university student, as of right now. I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe in the future I might become a university student, I don't know. That'll be the future, I guess. If I really want to if I really need wealth, I kind of failed at business, I'm going to go back to studying education, At the end of the day, you only have one life. You have one life, and then you only, a certain age once. So I'm 25 now. I'm only going to be 25 once, I'm only going to be 15 once, which I was 15 10 years ago, right? You only want this certain age once, so use it wisely, man. Right? And that's why I tell you guys, like, even like, with like the people, like even social media celebrities like that, I don't really care what they talk about. I don't even watch Netflix and stuff. Like, people complaining about me, that I'm like, too fanatical on Discord and stuff like that, because I talk about a lot of things fanatically. Yes, I am a fanatic, and in some form I don't want to suffer. I don't want to suffer in the future and stuff. So that's why I'm doing what I need to do now, so I don't have to suffer in the future. Right? Everything I do now is for the future. It's not for because I want to just because I want to look like Andrew Tate, or I want to be like self improvement in the first. No, I'm trying to save my. I don't want to suffer in the future, because I know once you get older, your body gets weaker. Right? That's how life works. So for me, I'm doing the hard work right today, and he could be 35 years old. I don't know. If you come to this conclusion, like I have come to towards, you're gonna do the hard work today and stuff. So maybe at 45 you won't suffer. So that's how I see it, and that's how I see the world at this point. There are many like people say that 25 is young, but it's not young. In the grand scheme of things, you're not getting handouts, and no one cares about you. Yeah, it is young and retrospectively compared to like a 45-year-old or a 35-year-old or 30-year-old, whatever, but it isn't young, right? And there's no like people coming to give you aid, you know. That's what I'm trying to say. And yes, it's real hard for me to like go outside, saying use my time wisely, because I've come to like just not come to this idea when I was like doing like when I was like in studying, right? It was like about 2 years ago, I guess, like 2023, right? Yeah, I was studying 2024 a little bit as well, but know what I'm trying to say, like when you're like in a constant in classes, right? When you're in classes, right? And you have to constantly like follow the rules, right? Not follow the rules, like you have a scheduled timetable, right? And when you don't have that anymore, you have to like build your own timetable, because your timetable is being funded by the system, right? You're either following like your boss's timetable, like your work timetable, you're following like your school timetable, or following your own timetable. As of right now, I don't actually have a timetable, you know. Well, technically I do. I mean, I go to work and stuff like that. But once I'm not at work, I don't have an actual timetable to do this and do that, and I need to send this email out. Everything's like, it's like what's the term? It's like it's very like primal, right? Primal like way of doing things. I feel like I need to do this now, so I go and read that book. But I won't read that book in like, I don't know, next 5 months, I guess. Pick up that book again in the next 5 months. That's how I operate, and that's not very good, right? You know what you need to do, and you need to schedule your time to that point to do that work, or that project, or that whatever it is. And you know what? I'm not trying to say that it's not good not to rest. You need to rest sometimes. Sometimes, maybe you need to have like a week's rest or a year's rest even, right? And that's fine. I mean, look at what's the lady, the actor, right? What's her name? I can't remember her name. That Jenna Ortega, whatever her name is. The Barbie actor. What's her name? Can't remember. Can't remember, mate. And it's a very famous lady and stuff. I can't remember her name now. Harley Quinn, Barbie and stuff like that. You know, just did a quick do. Her name is Margot Robbie. Right? You guys know, you probably know who Margot Robbie is. She's like a famous actor. She was in that other movie, right? Like in what's the movie? Wall Street movie, whatever it is. I've never watched that movie. Even though it's a famous, I only seen like memes of it, but I've actually not watched the movie itself. Because you know what, I don't see interest. I'm not interested in those types of movies. Oh yes, a banker investor in Wall Street and stuff like that. Is this gonna get me anything? Absolutely not. Or I mean, I watch movies and stuff. I like watching movies, but if it's not a part of my inherent vision of what I want to do in life. Why am I wasting my time? Like I said, I think I talked about it in 2023, right? When I watched the freaking, the movie, right? That was the movie of freaking, the Hunger Games lady. I can't remember her name as well, but she made like a movie with, like, where she's like 30 years old and stuff with a 19-year-old and shit. You know, I talked about that, and the reason why I watched that movie, well, because it's my birthday coming up, so I said, well, I do like the Hunger Games and stuff like that, so a little bit, so I just go and watch that. And I guess it was a little controversial, like, I guess, because it's like older woman, younger male, so I guess it was a little controversial. And I guess it was just like an entertainment movie, fun factor, but, it's not really nothing to write home about, I guess, so. But yeah, I mean, like, Margot Robbie, she's don't even hear her on the news anymore because, right, why is that? Because she's become a mother now, I guess, so she's not wasted the eggs anymore. I probably should have another child, I guess. I guess she would probably have another child after this one because it just makes perfect sense, She's made billions in the bank now from Barbie and stuff, so it's just, you know what, I'm not going to even do acting. What is there to act anyway? I might as well have my children and shit and do what I need to do and stuff. I mean, has like the company, she owns like the freaking company, what's her own company and stuff, so like doesn't even need to do anything anymore, I guess. You know? And like you can say what you want to say, but at the end of the day and stuff, there's so much you can do and stuff, and you just need to take a break and stuff. If that is becoming like a mum or a father or whatever, or you want to do this like project you always wanted to do in your back of your mind and stuff, you can't just like work like a machine, right? You're gonna come back into the graveyard, right? And you're gonna realize that I've wasted all my time working as a machine and stuff, and not actually thinking what I want to do, right? That's what most men do. Most people, not just men, most people do in life. There's going to be someone in the comment section, well, I need to work because I need to pay my, bills and all that. And that's 100% understandable. 100% understandable. But, if you're just working because you need to pay paycheck to paycheck, I mean, you need to really reevaluate your entire life, What am I doing this for? Is this really me? Am I just working paycheck to paycheck because, well, because I decided to maybe messed up a little bit, maybe it's time to sell your house or like move to another location and so and start downsizing so you can come back to what you need to do. Because 9 times out of 10, reason why people live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not saying there's an economic crisis. It is an economic crisis, but most of the time they don't need to live paycheck to paycheck. They want to live paycheck to paycheck because they want to have this, like, normie lifestyle where, oh well, it's the weekends now, I'm gonna go to the pub or like to the club or whatever social festival or event, whatever. A social festival event, that I'd go with my friends and stuff like that, with my other NPC blue pill friends. Then we repeat the process. That's how they get you, man. And this is why sometimes you just need to cut everyone off, and just be on your own mind, in your own world, and really think about yourself in a logical way. And maybe you just need to readjust your lifestyle, say maybe instead of waking up at, I don't know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11, then maybe you need to work at 6 o'clock so you can get the project that you need to get done before, like, I don't know, maybe you have a child to take care of, or whatever time your child wakes up, to take them to wherever they need to go and stuff. All I'm saying, I don't want to work, multiple jobs to pay multiple jobs and stuff just so I can live a lifestyle, that's not me, that's 100% not me. I am going to try and do anything in my power so I can live a somewhat minimalist lifestyle, a lifestyle that I don't have to pay as much, And that's what it's all comes about, eh? And people call me cheap and stuff. Oh, you're just a cheap individual and stuff. That's what my mum used to like to call me and stuff. Because I don't even actually buy, like, you know, when I do buy clothes or whatever, shopping, I don't go to, like, you know, the high brand, high fashion stuff. I buy stuff from, like, I don't know, Pound World, or, you know, Shoes Zone, which is a shop in the UK and stuff where they sell, like, kind of like cheaper shoes and stuff like that. You know, that's where I go and shop, right? And people seem to like those clothes anyway, so it didn't even matter that I need to go to, you know, what they call it, to the high end fashion. You know, what do you call it? What's the clothes? What's the high end fashion shows clothing? I'm not sure what they are, but you can name any high end fashion clothes or whatever. You know, I get all my stuff from charity shops or like poor like stores and shit. You know, I'm not gonna spend money because to look a certain way so I can attract certain people. You know, that's not me. You know, and the other thing I've realised, you know, when I cut everyone off, you know, cut most of my friends off. No, I didn't cut all my friends off, but when I cut most people off, my money started to. You start to realise how much money you're spending, like, because you want to be seen and have social life and stuff. You're spending about maybe £50 a week or whatever, just for socialism, right? Social life, right? Right. But once you don't spend that time, maybe you're only spending like maybe maximum £20 if you, like, you know, self-indulge yourself in, like, I don't know, fast food, which I do sometimes, you know. Which is isn't great. I've actually started cutting down on my fast food habits. I'm actually eating more. If I am eating fast food, I'm eating more healthier options and stuff now. All this, guys, what I'm trying to say is that it is like a system to control you, right? It's all a system. It's not just there because, well, that you need it. You don't actually need all these people. You don't actually need all this stuff for the most part, right? Of course, you're gonna need the tools to make money, right? Like if you're like a construction worker, you know, you're gonna need like your hard hat. You're gonna need your iron boots and stuff, whatever, so you can make more money. You know, so you can actually work on the projects that you're given in the construction site. But don't. But overall, do you need, like, you know, have the most advanced system in the world? No. Is it gonna really make your job easier? Perhaps it may make your job easier there and there, but is it gonna get the job done? Maybe it doesn't get your job done, you know? And that's what I mean, you know? So what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, I guess it's like, you know, what you call it, the Renegade One video. I think he said you need to detach from this world, I guess, right? And, you know, a lot of people, you know, don't detach themselves from this world, you know. I myself, I'm still struggling to detach from a lot of things, but even now, I think I'm even getting better at it, you know. Like, I'm actually getting better at my way of thinking, I guess, you know. So yeah, even now, I do believe I'm getting better, you know, because I understand what plight I am, where my life is, and this can't last forever and stuff. So, you know, it can't last forever. Nothing lasts forever. I always say this on my YouTube videos, you know, nothing lasts forever and stuff. And you must understand that, you know. Right now, we're in the second month of April and stuff. This is recording of the 5th of April, right? Next month will be the last month of April. The next thing you know, it's summertime, right? And my birthday's in summer, so, you know, we just gotta power through it, guys. You know, if you are watching this video, we just gotta power through it, you know. And no one will probably watch this video, and that's fine. I don't care, you know. At the end of the day, there's only need one person to watch this video, and they will have to like, and that's all I need. You know, I don't need hundreds of millions of people to watch my video. If I can change one person's mind, I've done my job, I guess. You know, that's all I need. You know, like that other guy. You know, you like by comment, you know, subscribe and stuff. This guy's a very good guy and stuff. You know, he really liked my content. You know, I think I changed his mind, and it is what it is. That's fantastic. I feel like, you know, a lot of people just don't want to accept to be alone sometimes. I myself used to struggle about with this. I always wanted to be part, like, you know, the anime, Wanamote. You guys don't know what the anime Wanamote is, and anime from 2020, 2013 and stuff, which I really like, you know. Pretty much Tomoko and stuff. I would say I was like Tomoko when I was younger. I wanted people to notice me and see me, you know, but I always felt it, all my social endeavours fail and stuff. And, you know, come to a turn point that most of these social failures and said didn't even mean anything. And I think that's what the whole point of the show, I guess, at the end, where it said, where it doesn't even matter and stuff, when at the end of the show, right, all the stuff, you know, Tomoko was suffering through, going through, didn't even matter in the first place, you know. All those 2 years, you know, I think she wasted in high school, you know, it didn't even matter. So, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, once you realise it doesn't matter, it doesn't truly matter, you know. Sometimes it does. I mean, I'm not saying, as I say, if I was like a party person, like, you know, like a party freak when I was in my, like, teens or early 20s, I guess, you know, because I'm in my mid-20s now, unfortunately. I mean, no, I'm not saying it's unfortunate. I guess I wish I did learn myself a lot more, but, you know, I am who I am now, so I am in my mid-20s now, and, well, I'm not going to waste my mid-20s. Well, it's mid-20s, like 25, 26, I guess, I'm not sure. 24, I guess, as well. Yeah, 24, 25, 26, I guess it's mid-20s, I guess. Then 20, 21, 22, and 23. It's like early 20s, I guess. I don't know how that system works. So, what I'm just propagating in this video is that don't waste anything. You're 30, you're turning 30 today. What are you going to do now? Right? You got 365 days until you're 31. Right? What are you going to do? Right? If you're in incel at 30 years old, you got 365 days. You can do a lot of things in 365 days. You know, if you're in third world country, perhaps you need to start figuring about how you're going to leave and stuff. Your position. You probably are going to have to leave your family behind. You know, the people are around you behind, because those people are the same people that will trap you in slavery. Right? Believe me, mental slavery. Right? That's what it is. And I myself, I struggle with this a lot as well. So, right? Because, like I said before, when you're, how can you call it? When you're addicted to something, there's like an addiction, right? Right? We have, it's like, you know, when people take alcohol or like drugs or watch adult content over and over again, it's an addiction, right? We are addicted to social validation as well. Right, everything can be an addiction as well. So you need to understand that these people around you, know, saying they don't really have your best interest, because once you start talking to them about things, right? Which I was talking to this guy, I think it was on Tuesday actually, when I was working, about how, I think I already mentioned this in another video, I guess. I haven't uploaded that video. Hopefully I'll upload it soon. About, you know, about how the system works and stuff. Oh, you just get a skill and stuff. That's the same thing that most people say. Just get a skill and stuff. But I'm talking about how the system works. Right? It's not about skill. If it was truly about skill, I mean, you know, wow, the most intelligent, most rich people in the world are like, you know, don't have much skill. I mean, Lily Phillips doesn't have much skill. Really, she probably can't like code a website and stuff, but she's like richer than most people in United Kingdom at this point, so she has more money and stuff and more intelligent. You can say what you want about Lily Phillips and stuff, but she's living her life and stuff, you know. Yeah, she might have to train in her body and stuff for body here and there and stuff, but she's rich. They say Bonnie Blue is also rich, and you know, and, you know, other people as well, like, are rich. but it didn't take skill. It just took being at the right place at the right time. And probably if Bonnie Blue was in like the 1800s, or she probably wouldn't be. Um, she'll be a non-existent entity. Let's just say it like that, because I don't want to get a strike and stuff. 1800s, no, maybe not 1800s, maybe 15 the 1500s, I guess. Because there was not really as forgiving, like we are forgiven now in 2025. But yeah, that's all I really got to say and stuff. I don't really want to continue this video. I don't want to make it long and stuff. But this idea of skill and stuff is, we just need to get out of our head. Sometimes, yes, it does take a lot of skill, right? Sometimes you have to do something that no one else has done and stuff. Like, it's probably you're gonna have to take that leap, right? I mean, when I was like making like, what do I call it? Like, I think I was watching like a video. This is like 2 months ago, right? I mean, I watched this multiple times, this video, but 2 months ago, right? The sodium vapor technology, which was like used for Mary Poppins and stuff for the film. I think it was Mary Poppins, I think. Right, no one created that technology. Only like only used that sodium vapor technology for that film, and only in that film. Right, and the people in the tech video, I can't remember the name. They had to remake that technology, in that video and stuff. Right, so we're gonna have to look in areas that most people are not looking in, So you can say, oh, my channel's not influential, it's not got a lot of people and stuff. People don't really watch my videos and stuff, but that's fine, I don't need a lot of people to watch my videos. I don't need a lot of people. If I can influence only like 1 or 2 people, I could be remembered for years on end, I mean, look at Renegade 1. I mean, Renegade 1 has been like, he's been dead for about 5 years now. No. Yeah, I think it's 5 years now. No, about 6 years. No. He died in 2021. So yeah, roughly around 4 or 5 years now. He's still remembered. A lot of people still use these talking points to this day, And some of his talking points I agree with, some of it I don't agree with. I mean, what's his name? Born into a corrupt system did a video about him, wishing he knew him and stuff. Could talk to him and stuff like that, but here's what it is, he can't talk to him anymore, he's dead. But yeah, that's what I mean, like, ideas come from somewhere. I think I said this already before. I might have to make an entire video on that, because that's a great video topic. Ideas come from somewhere, right? So I could die today, or maybe tomorrow and stuff, whatever. My ideas will continue in some form. I may not be the person that will claim that I create this idea, but that person that listened to me probably would claim that he made the idea first. So, Anyway, guys, I just want to say that what it is and stuff. Like, I want to get out of here. So, all I'm trying to say, guys, we stop with the hedonism, and start with with like the procrastination. Which I'm not saying you shouldn't procrastinate. Sometimes you're gonna need a rest. If you're doing a lot of things and stuff, sometimes, you know what? It's time to take a break, mate. Time to sit down and maybe go to the park or go to the pub or like whatever you need to go towards to re-energize. Once you've re-energized, you can get back to it. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it and subscribe.